Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, girls and boys and girls, welcome to our channel. Welcome back, Inspirational Minutes with David. Welcome back. At it again. Gonna do a little talking. We're gonna talk about some things today. I got a lot on my mind. You know I do. You know I have a lot on my mind. So today, our Inspirational Minutes with David today is properly entitled. It's properly entitled. Friends. The hand clap stops. We say friends. Friends. And how many of us have them? It was an old song by Houdini called Friends, and it was like, friends, how many of us have them? Because when you think about it, wow, we don't have that many friends. You know, I don't mean to get on it, but I can get on it. Even the government is not your friend either. You know, the things wouldn't be going on today, what's going on. But friends, how many of us have them? How many of us have friends? I was at work the other day, and I had a patient. Let me find this. I had a patient that, as I was going through our reviews at work, he wrote a review on our office, and I'm not gonna give his name out. I should, but I'm not. Let me see, because you know my job is to help you see a little better. Can you see? Can you read on the card? Can you see? That's my job. I'm an optician. I help you see better and help you see life better as well. You know, it's all of it. All of it goes hand in hand. Friends, how many of us have them? So this guy wrote a review on us, and he said, the people at the reception desk, the person who performed the test, and the doctor were great. They were all following COVID protocol, wearing masks, sanitizing equipment, etc. I have a complaint about the optician who helped me with my eyewear. He was using a tie-up mask instead of an ear loop, ones that are common. I kind of bonded with him as my mask is also a tie-up mask. Oh, man, Lord. I asked if he was fascinated, hoping to bond more. But he said, with conviction, that his immune system is very strong, and gave the whole, I gotta know what's going into my body excuse. I gotta know, that's what he put in parentheses, I gotta know what's going into my body excuse. I didn't want to get into it at the time, since the whole mask thing has become politicized. But the more I have thought about it, the more I need to make my concerns known. This guy has presumed strong immune system is going to be fine. But he can get infected and pass the virus to others without or before ever getting symptoms. He is endangering people whose immune systems are compromised. As far as anyone knows, he could have been infected at the time. Furthermore, he did not have the lower laces of his mask tied, which is not standard protocol. So that likely makes it even more dangerous to be around him. You know, first our brother who wrote the complaint. First of all, Texas is an unmasked state. And we know masks don't do anything. But let's come back. Let's get back when we're talking about he damn sure not a friend, right? He's not a friend. But let's get back to our subject at hand. Friends. How many of us have them? So if you made it this far in the video, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications. We won't bug you too much. But what is love, let's talk about love versus friendship. Love, letting out vulnerable emotions. And I wrote down, when a person is or someone's friend, you don't want to change them, but you love them. But when you love them, you do. They say when a person is someone's friend, you don't want to change them, but when you love them, you seem like you want to change them. When you're someone's friend, you want to invest in them, but when you love them, you make withdrawals. When you're someone's friend, you have no expectation except that the person remains true to themselves. I mean, you don't have any expectation. You want to make sure they stay true to themselves. But when you love them, you must control them. When you're a person's friend, you're not jealous of their talents. But when you love them, guess what? You become the biggest hater. You become the number one hater. The number one hater. But you love me. You see, love isn't understanding, kind, or gentle. Love can be petty, vindictive, and manipulative. And guess what? Friendship. Because this friendship is entwined with loyalty. Me and a friend was talking about that last night. If it's entwined with loyalty, that's what true friendship is about. Understand and please understand, people get their concept of love from movies and plays. So things like Romeo and Juliet, it's fake. It confused the viewer because they tried to recreate what they saw in the play or the movie or the book that they have read. But the concept is flawed, family. It's flawed because they never tell you that loving someone is really a form of insanity. One minute people are in love, the next minute they're saying things, really hurtful things to each other. Real mean, cruel things to the people they so-called love. Why? Because hate and love are actually the same things, but just on different degrees, different levels, but actually they run into, it's a fine line between love and hate. It is a very, very fine line. They had a song called "It's a Thin Line Between Love and Hate," and we're gonna drop a bomb on that because it's a very fine line between love and hate. Very fine line, because hate and love are the same thing at times. Friendship is something organic, something intimate, something that is much more, and it seems much real because sometimes friendship, most times and oftentimes, friendship is loyalty. It's really loyalty. So you ever been closer to your friends than you are with your own family members, people who has your same DNA, your bloodline? But before you become someone's friend, you have to be friend to yourself. You must first love yourself. Be a friend to yourself. Being a friend is a skill. It's a science that has to be mastered. And many people are in a relationship with people, they're not even friends. They're not even friends with themselves, but they're in a relationship with people and they're not even friends to themselves. Isn't that crazy? So how can you be a friend? And how can they be a friend to you? I mean, for real, think about it. Remember, being a friend is a skill. It really is a skill, especially in relationships. So when we're in relationships, we do all the intimate things. We orally and intimately and physically, and we're doing those things. We suck and we but we're not really friends. And to me, that's insane. Because basically what people are saying is that you meet my physical requirements, right? But you fall way short in the friend department. Listen, if a person falls short, if a person falls short in the friend department, there's no way in hell they can be considered a sexual partner. No way in hell they can be considered a sexual partner if they fall short in the friend department. Do you really, truly, think it's okay? It's okay to share your body with someone who isn't your friend? I mean, come on now. Think about it. Think about that for a second. We actually find it acceptable to have intimacy with no condom, lick each other's body intensely in spirit's total vulnerability, without even knowing for sure the person we're sleeping with or being physically, emotionally intimate with, exchanging energies, sleeping with, intimate with, exchanging energies, is our friend or not. Usually we find out way after, and by then, it's a little too late. I know you heard of people have bad divorces and like, dang, I've been sleeping with the enemy the whole time. I've been sleeping with the enemy the whole time just because you guys wasn't friends. And him give you a little bit more. We're going to continue. Friends, how many of us have them? Just because a person is a terrible boyfriend or girlfriend or a terrible husband or wife, that doesn't mean they're a terrible friend. Being in a relationship can be hard. It can be very exhausting at times. You have to, it can be. I know. But everyone's not built for that. They're not built for relationships, but they can be awesome friends. They can be awesome friends. That doesn't mean that if a person not built for a relationship or a marriage or a committed relationship that they wouldn't be an excellent friend. Personally, I don't believe there's a relationship dynamic enough that supersedes friendship. Of course, people disagree with me. Yeah, they disagree with the fly optician. But here's the deal. From my observation, if a friendship is the core, anything after that is just the expression of the friendship. Marriage and sex are ways to express friendship with each other. Is it becoming clear now? Is it becoming all clear? Before we give each other titles, before we get in relationships and have intimacy and physical and exchanging those type of energies, because you can't get it back after it's gone. You gave it away. You can't give it back. You cannot give it back. Can't take it away. Make sure that person qualifies as a friend. And they will not only qualify as a friend, we must first qualify if that person will make a great friend. And the best way to do this is to pay attention what kind of friend the individual is to themselves. Now, let me give you, we're in class today. I'm helping you see today. I'm helping you see today. We're going to get that vision right today. Yeah, I'm off the subject about the certification of vaccine ID just a little bit, but we're going to get it right today. Now, here go 3 things I need you to understand and overstand and understand. Number 1, are they, the person we talking about being in a relationship with or about to get married to or about to have a committed relationship, are they, number 1, are they interesting? Is the person you consider interesting? Now, this is very requisite because if they're interesting, you'll greatly benefit. Aligning yourself with someone that's interested will allow you to get a different perspective on life because you'll be in a constant state of learning. Because interesting people have hobbies. They're affiliated with social groups and always looking to dive into something fresh and new. If they do things solo, your presence will only add to the experience, people. As long as your attitude is positive and remain open-minded. Interesting people hate. We hate closed-minded people. What's wrong with the world? Oh, okay, all right, let me stop. That's what's wrong with the world today. Do they invest? Number two, do they invest in themselves? You see, when a person invests in themselves, that means they take their friendship with themselves very seriously. There are ways They can invest in themselves. That's subjective, you know. It really is. But the investment is something that will make them better. When a person is constantly focusing on getting better, that's a great sign for you. When a person is constantly focused on getting themselves better, that's a great sign for you. It's a great sign for you, because that means if they take their self-improvement seriously, they take yours seriously as well. That's real talk, as we say. Number three. Okay, let me get to number 3. My slide number 3. How do they treat others? Oh, this one thing you have to pay attention to. You must pay attention to how they treat others. Pay attention to the way the person treats other people, because that's a great way to know how they will handle you. There isn't a light switch a person cuts on and off when it comes to dealing with people and handling people. You can't just turn that on and off. One thing about me in sales, especially optical sales, because I always hired people who love people, who love not only themselves, but are friends with themselves. I can teach the optical side of things. So you have to watch how they handle people, the way they treat people. I'm not saying they have to be nice all the time or be pushed over like a doormat. No, I'm not propagating that. I'm just saying watch them, how they treat people. Watch how they treat their parents, the sisters and brothers, the siblings, strangers. Watch that. Because treating people fairly, it doesn't cost a damn thing. It doesn't cost nothing. And if you see that they're inconsistent in treating people fairly, you'll be a fool to think that their inconsistency won't be the huge elephant in the room in your relationship. So if you see them treating people inconsistently, don't be fooled to think that their inconsistency won't be the elephant in the room in your relationship. It's just that simple. And number 3, what do they see in you? Get quiet on that. What do they see in you? See, we all have weak areas. We all have areas that we need to work on. Things that need improvement. We also have things that are great, but we haven't even been cultivated. They haven't even been cultivated yet. We got things about us that are great that we oftentimes be oblivious to. And if a person sees those things in you that you haven't even taken the time to see in yourself or taken the time to develop, that means they pay close attention to detail. Close attention to detail. They have this quality because they take time to pay close attention to the detail in their own life. So when they look at you, they make sure they see the best things about you and only the best. See, it's friends. How many of us have them? How many of us have friends? I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper, because with friends, you have to be friends with yourself. And don't you know that 2% of people think, 3% think, and 95% would rather die than think? And I want to know why drastic numbers. One reason. Really, let's define what thinking is. It's a conscious mental process of reasoning, planning, or analyzing. Do you know what the key word here is? Conscious. It's conscious. It means that people who thinks is in control of what he is thinking. He doesn't chew on the past, experiences or dwells in the pool of the same thoughts of self-pity, blame, fears. I don't know what else. The thinking person organizes his thoughts and directs them in a powerful way that leads to achieving goals, personal growth, and general well-being. And that's not where most of us are. When it comes to thinking, there are only two options. Either you control your thoughts or your thoughts control you. See, a friend who's loyal, he has thought about all the things, he or she has thought about all the things that's within them. And so when they are friends with themselves, they will actually be loyal to you if they bring you into their world. And always remember this in any relationship. When you give up on someone, it's not because you don't care anymore. It's because you realize that the person that you gave up on didn't care about you. Oh, wow. Remember that. When you give up on someone, it's not because you don't care anymore. It's because you realize that they didn't care at all. I'm going to drop another one just on GP. You see, friends, how many of us have them? Friends, are you a friend with self? Are you an optimist or a pessimist with yourself? That goes a long way. Are you an optimist or pessimist with yourself? So friends, how many of us have friends? And we must, again, be friends to ourselves. If you made it this far in that video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and let you know that we're on it, and we're on it. We're on it to talk with Inspirational Minutes with David. And I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm searching through my notes. I want to leave you with this great quote I saw and read. I'm gonna leave you a couple quotes as I was on the optimist and the pessimist about yourself. In order to be a friend to yourself, in order to have loyalty, you must be loyal to yourself, which in turn, that energy you will be loyal to other people. And don't miss out on a successful life because you're too afraid to venture into the unknown. As being a friend to yourself, venture out. Everything or everyone familiar isn't always the best for you. Truth and tradition are always synonymous. Just because you're a friend to someone doesn't make them a friend to you. We learn to remove the negative. From our circle. And we must move the negative from our circle to realize who we are. Be a friend to yourself and begin to grow the wings to soar within yourself. Once you move the negative, you'll come into the positive energy of who you are. Or who you are and what you're going to be and what type of friend you're going to be with, with the person you're being friend with. I'm going to continue. Don't miss out because of traditions. We talked about that. And you're a friend to someone who not a friend to themselves. You're a friend to someone who doesn't make them a friend to you in your life. In life, we learn to remove negative from our circle to make room for the positive. Once we take the dead wing or the dead weight off our wings, we're not only able to fly, but we'll soar. The difference between good and great is the faith you possess in the capability of your effort and the ability of how you believe in yourself. Work like your success depends on you, and pray like your life depends on the Most High. Pray like your success depends on the Most High. And once we take the dead weight off, we'll be able to soar. The gray area between real and routine, confuse tradition and truth, But stray dogs find their way back home. They find their way back home, even if it's then an abandoned house. While abused victims return to the abusers are finally breaking free. While even being turned off by traits in our parents, we still tend to date people or choose mates who mimic them because you're not a friend with yourself. There are so many things that we do subconsciously, not because it's wrong or right, but because it's familiar. Not because it's not always comfortable even, but nonetheless familiar. Even human beings are creatures. We must understand and understand we're creatures of habit. His story is a teacher who demands individual attention and will repeat itself if no one listens. In life, we have to learn from our mistakes, not repeat them or regret them, because without being taught the lessons, we will never pass the test. And one of the deepest truths I have been discovering about when love has to have its endings, it's not the relationship or the person I truly crave. It's the version of myself that was in love. How open and vulnerable and free I was in love. The sacrifices I made to keep the love alive. The person I was before the heartaches. The person I was before that. The heartaches and the disappointments. I cried for him. Be a friend with yourself before you get bringing other people into your life and start messing up their lives. If your life is not even put together, you're not even a friend with yourself. Learn to accept even the bad parts about yourself and begin to grow, to evolve. Begin to grow. Stop blaming other people for your BS. Okay? Begin to be friends with yourself. I'm going to leave you with this. The Hope Experiment. During a brutal study in Harvard in the 1950s, Dr. Kirk Richter placed rats in a pool of water to test how long they could tread water. On average, they give up and sink after 15 minutes. But right before they gave due to exhaustion, the researchers would pluck them out, dry them off, let them rest for a few minutes, and then put them back in for a second round. In the second try, how long do you think the rats, how long, people, family, how long do you think they lasted on the second trial? Remember, they just swam until failure only a few short minutes ago. They got out, dried up, rested, then he placed them back in the water. How long do you think? Question mark. How long do you think? 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes? No. 60 hours. No, that's a 60 hours. And that's not an error. 60 hours. That's right, 60 hours of swimming. The conclusion drawn was that since the rats believed that they would eventually be rescued, they pushed their bodies way past what they previously thought were impossible. I will leave you with this thought, family. If hope can cause exhausted rats to swim for that long, what could a belief in yourself and your abilities do for you? My name is David. On the fly, Optician. Hit the subscribe button. Hit it. Hit the bell notifications. I love you. I love me, which in return, I love you. I do. And if you love you, in return, you love me. I love you in truth. Thank you for your time with Inspirational Minutes with David. Share, comment, subscribe. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. I love you in peace. Peace.